So let's say I have an idea for a promotion. I want to bring about awareness and have action taken on this problem of parking on ASU campus. Parking is horrible. It's a waste of time. Uh, so I don't believe the administration's doing enough about it, and so I want to do something. So what we're going to do is next time we want to do this in a place where we can reach out to influencers. So next time Michael Crow gives a talk, all the top brass at ASU's there, we're going to run up and start throwing plastic cars around the room that have slogans on it about, we want parking now. Now, the question is that a good campaign or is that a good campaign? How do I evaluate it? So the things I have to look at are risk. Am I damaging the brand of my company? If it's not consistent with the brand, then I probably shouldn't do it. What are my objectives? I'm trying to raise awareness. I'm trying to push people to trial. What is it? And how are they going to respond? So I really need to know my customer. Who is it that I'm going to reach out to? And how do I get diffusion? Meaning once it happens, I need people to talk about it. I need it to spread. Without diffusion, again, you're never going to make it. And what's the means of impact? In this case, the impact is, people are going to notice when projectiles are thrown at them. But the question becomes, am I going to have the impact I am? And what's going to be the long-term impact? Well, could be we all go to jail. And so when I think about my designs, as you can see, I don't want to provoke things in a negative way. But I want to be who I am. I'm conveying a value. The question is, are those values consistent with what I want to do? I don't want to annoy people. I want to be legal. That's the thing. Some people do things with vandalism. Like one guy, what he did for his apps is he ran around and started putting bumper stickers on everybody's windshield. Oh, the cops caught him and he spent a night in jail for graffiti. And the other question is about resonance. How do I understand the psychographics of my customer? I have problems pulling that out. J.C. Levinson is considered to be the father of guerrilla marketing. He's the one who came up with it. And he has these 7 tenets that he goes by, and that's that, do you know what kind of response you want from your customer? How are you going to achieve it? What are your target markets? What weapons are you going to use? What do you stand for? What is your niche? What makes you unique? Again, this is what's the identity of your business and what's your budget. And as you can see, a lot of these ideas, they're tied to branding. And so we've seen a lot of this before. And so it's just a truncated version. Here are some different techniques. I'm not going to go over all of them. There are forehead campaigns where people stick things on their foreheads and walk around. Are t-shirts good guerrilla marketing? Yeah, they are. And the reason why is if you have the name of the company and you have like the website information or a phone number or something like that, guess what? People are walking billboards. There was a group that wanted to come up with a beer app, which I've referenced before. And they said, we're going to advertise using Cozies. That has the name of our website. And I said, Cozies are a horrible promotion. And the reason why is, 1, they're not cheap. And 2, who's going to see it? The Cozy stays in your house. It's in the cupboard or something like that. You want something to be active. The reason why pens are effective as a form of guerrilla marketing is that you're giving that to an influencer, and that influencer looks at the pen. And so if they need something, you're going to be recalled to mind because they look at you fairly frequently and often. On the other hand, pens as a mass market type of thing probably isn't all that efficient. Advertisements on cars, on sales receipt. Anyway, you can read this for yourself. And so the metrics that you look at, and this is what defines guerrilla marketing is, once you define your campaign, look at the cost. Does it create surprise? Meaning, You're trying to get past status quo. Is it different? Does it stand out, or is it just something they have seen before? Like a lot of TV commercials are just rip-offs of other TV commercials, and all you do is just get confused. And maybe that's the point of it, to undermine the competition. Are my promotions active? And the reason why active counts is that when you're actually engaged in doing something, you have 43% more comprehension. And that's why in a lot of your classes, your instructors do in-class activities. And that's to get you involved. Places. How many people you're going to reach, and is it location-based? What areas are you going to affect? Location affects an awful lot. If you have a physical store, location matters. The thing is, places have personalities. And you're looking for example, if I want to go high tech, where am I going to market to? Silicon Valley, the most leading edge place on earth. Those people are going to get it far more than people are going to get it in Des Moines, Iowa. And that's not to demean Des Moines, Iowa, but come on. This is Silicon Valley we're talking about. And do I get buzz? Are people going to start telling other people? Am I going to get media attention? So between the design parameters I talked about and these metrics, that's how you look at whether or not your guerrilla campaign has been effective. So how do I find these things out? Influencer, and so that's why I need to record the data. I need to see. I have to have some means of trying to track the way people did things. For example, if I drive people to my website, I have people enter special codes that are related to this promotion, like they could get coupons or something, so I know that this is the reason that this had an impact. Influencer marketing is a very big part of all marketing today, and that's because there's so much stuff out there, and people are coming up with so many new and novel ideas. How do we know what's good and how do we know what's not good? Here's the biggest example of all. Amazon has about 3 million storefronts on Amazon. How the heck do you know if any of these are any good? And so what do? You're either looking for somebody that you trust who will tell you, or the other thing that you look for is you look at the reviews. You look at the reviews. I always look at the reviews when I research something. I'm willing to buy something from a company I never heard of if the reviews look good. Now, of course, one thing they're doing today is giving out free samples to people and telling them, oh, we just want your honest review. And people say, I have to tell you that this was given to me, but I'm going to give you an honest review. Oh, yeah, right. Like, how much more free stuff are you going to get if you write a bad review? But anyway, and so what this helps you do actually is find your early adopters in your core market. And so what you want to do is you want to map out the key influencers for your product. You can use the techniques that we've already learned. And how do you build awareness for influencer marketing? And this is where guerrilla tactics matter. For example, the beer example that I talked about. So I want to reach out to influencers, outlets, and events. And so these are my influencers. These are potential outlets. I could do it directly or I could do it digitally. But naturally with events, what I want to do is hold physical ones that essentially, streaming event for people drinking beer. No, it's because beer is a physical event. And so, are there any hard and fast academic rules for this? No, this is about your creativity. This is you brainstorming and coming together and figuring out what it is. And so, you know about target market, TAM, SAM, and so this slide pretty much speaks for itself. And so, in terms of tactics, the 3 basic steps are awareness, consideration. Consideration includes trial. I'm just truncating it down, and then purchase. And so these are the different techniques you can use. For example, for the beer app, you're going to go digital. And so in terms of getting consideration, what do? You offer people a beta trial, or you offer them free stuff, like, with your first purchase, using it. So here are some examples of promotions that people have used before. In this case, what they do, they turn the tennis court into a PSP. I thought this was pretty creative. It's a free air guitar. It's an advertisement for a rock station. It's fun, it's memorable, and people understand it. I thought this was so creative and elegant. Ballet classes. Notice they put it on pink paper, and it looks just like a little tutu. And so, as you can see, that's pretty cheap, except for people to do it. Something more expensive, but they did this in a mall. Now, as you can imagine, that thing must have been pretty expensive to print out. But for people on the higher levels of the mall looking down, wow, the people look like the fleas on the dog. Again, very memorable, and I think a bit of a surprise. The Kit Kat bar is a bench. And so if you're thinking about chocolate or food, it's first you laugh about it. It's like, I think I want a Kit Kat. This is an example of ambush marketing. What K-Swiss does, and they make athletic equipment, particularly sneakers and shoes. And they put this up outside the French Open. And so all these tennis fans and everybody else. So you've got the, who are you reaching? You're reaching the audience that you want. And so this is memorable. Lots of people probably took pictures of it. And so what did they do? They took advantage of the fact that there was an event going on. And so here's Dr. Cho's pet peeve. All over the place, ASU says #1 in the U.S. for innovation. And so what do? They write Stanford #2 and MIT #3. That's ambush marketing. What is ASU doing? They're comparing themselves to Stanford and MIT to imply that ASU is on the same level as Stanford and MIT. Sorry. Yes, I work for ASU, but I'm an MIT alumni. Come on, are you really going to buy that? Although it is true that ASU is more innovative than Stanford and MIT. I won't deny that. But what they're referring to in terms of innovation is how innovative they are educationally. Once again, they also besmirch another one of my alma maters, UCLA. But as you can see, ASU does this a lot. And what they're trying to do is raise ASU up into the pantheon of other schools. And actually, that's a good thing for you, because the better reputation that ASU has, the more it does for you and your reputation. And so some of the drawbacks of ambush marketing you have to be careful of is that there are legal restrictions to it. And domiciliary rights of the sponsor means that somebody could be advertising. And so that might extend like hundreds of yards outside the stadium or something like that. So you have to be careful about that if you're in violation of the law. And so in the next lecture, I'll talk about the dark side of what happens with guerrilla marketing.